Hello, and welcome to Be My Own Boss podcast. I'm your host, Mike Hruby, and this is episode 53. We're going to have some fun today. We found a good news flaw in labor law. I didn't actually think it would happen, but we did, and I want to share it with you. Hope you're fine today. Since the 1930s, the left has used the Constitution's Commerce Clause to assert control over the private economy, including even independent contracting. Now, it's 16 words, and it's the opportunity, and it's so short, I thought I'd read it to you. To regulate commerce with foreign nations and among the several states and with the Indian tribes. That's it. That's the Commerce Clause. And it gives Congress the power and does not let the states have the power in that case. But boy, times sure change. And you know, since 2023, the left has rolled out state laws that harshly limit independent contracting across state lines and into other countries, as well as within the individual states themselves. So you're probably asking, has the Commerce Clause lost its teeth? Has it have no more appeal for the left? Well, I think there's an opportunity for us here. What's the evidence? Well, in California, in 2019, they passed AB 5, which totally eliminated 1 million jobs outright, hampered millions more. There were about 9 million independent contractors to start with in California. And the situation was so bad that they went and exempted over 100 occupations, but did not exempt interstate commerce and did not exempt international contracts. So clear violation of the Commerce Clause. Massachusetts, with identical language, which was the prototype for California, has the same situation. They have no exemptions for interstate contracting, no exemptions for international contracting, clearly against the Commerce Clause. Rhode Island, always panting and trying to keep up with its all the worst moves of Massachusetts, has released has a bill, might be already a law, that makes it a felony for someone in another state or another country to buy the services of a Rhode Island independent contractor explicitly for the purpose of allowing the state of Rhode Island to reach across the state lines and across the international boundaries and pluck that buyer back, bring him or her to justice in Rhode Island, and subject them to its grotesque penalties. Like if there's more of an invitation to do something about it than this, and in fact, all states that have the ABC style labor law are vulnerable to attack on independent contractors through their state laws. Sometime the state has to take action. But so far, the feds have to take action, but so far they haven't. Now we know why. We know who Julie Sue was, and we know who her predecessor was. That the lack of a federal defense of the independent contractor's right to contract interstate and right to contract internationally gives us an access to the federal courts. That is a big deal, and I am thrilled to bring it to you. The lack of a federal action is a unique flaw in the series of 5 that we are bringing to you in this series. It's a huge opportunity because ABC laws, by their structure, punish the buyers and don't punish the sellers directly. Of course, they ruin them indirectly, but the law doesn't look at that. As a result, for 87 years, independent contractors have never had a standing in court. And the reason that this gives us an opportunity is in commerce, the seller is always the initiator by logic of the offer to do project work, since the work, first of all, the work depends on a proposal. You offer it to your prospective client, and then they negotiate it with you. You make adjustments to fit their needs. That's normal. All right, but you're the initiator, so you should be the one that the law affects, not not the buyers. But the law is deliberately structured to leave you out because you make a great witness in court. You've got reasons you're independent contracting. You have clear precedents for why this is the right thing for you to do and that you took it voluntarily. Okay. The second logical reason that the independent contractor is in charge here is that they state their availability within limits. First, within a time limit, when they're going to start and when they're going to stop. And second, the amount and nature of the work that they're going to do. They do not make an unlimited commitment to work with this client. It's just for this thing. If it's driving, it's just for this ride or this delivery, and it has limits. That's not characteristic of employees. Third, the seller offers a contract that conforms to the requirements of the seller, the buyer, and to their requirements. It's a joint thing, and they go before the law with a contract if there's a dispute. They're peers, not characteristic of employees. And fourth, the seller proposes to take responsibility for this project and deliver its results within a time limit. Again, the opposite of employment. It's a very narrow deliverable. They can't legally ask you to do anything else. They can't force you unless they agree. So the initiator offers results under contract law. And the lack of a federal defense of our freedoms across state lines and across international borders creates an opportunity for independent contractors as self-employers under law to seek remedies. Now, in the law, this situation of basically the federal government sitting on its hands and doing nothing for us is called the Dormant Commerce Clause. And people litigate this. This is a thing, as they say. For us, it's a huge opportunity to file lawsuits in defense of our voices, our wishes, our experience, and our rights to do this work as we see fit. It's a good news flaw in labor law. And another aspect that's very current is if illegal aliens can get into court for to get redress for their rights, do you think 76 million hardworking, employed Americans working for themselves, getting results, paying their taxes, supporting their families, taking care of their relatives, do you think 76 million Americans should have a chance to get into court too for their rights? Seems that way to me. As for how to do this, there are dozens of excellent conservative, pro-economy litigation nonprofits to whom we can talk to see if they will help us take this to court and win the inevitable appeals too. We need help with legal talent, we need help with their time, and we need help with their expertise at doing this. We have no hope of being able to do this by ourselves, but there are people who are willing to help us. As for you, what I'd like to suggest is that your next step is to like this podcast, possibly to share it if you find it valuable. I'd like you to suggest that you follow us on YouTube and subscribe so that YouTube can send you updates for when we're going to have our next podcast. So with that, I want to thank you for listening in to this Good News Flaw in Labor Law. I'm Mike Hruby. This is the Be My Own Boss podcast from New Jobs America, and we will see you on the next episode. Thank you very much.